that's you. So you died? I shot you. I shot you and I killed you.
Alright, in today's, I'm about to get my butt kicked.
Maybe.
Maybe, because we're playing a game that I did not play a whole lot of growing up. Well, I kind of did, but I didn't want to. And you played a lot of Goldeneye on the N64. And let's see, so let's start up here.
Yes, where it says ready.
This is one that a lot of my friends had, and they kind of made me play it a lot. But I couldn't get into it because for me the difference was...
I hate this level.
I don't know. For me the difference was I grew up playing games on the Mac and PC, playing like shooters. So going from that to like the N64 controller with playing this, like I couldn't. Oh my god, this feels so awful. Standing right in front of you and I can't even...
You've been shooting at me for the past, like...
I can't do it. Like I told you, even back then, like, I hated when they tried to make me play this game. I absolutely hated this game.
I don't know why.
How do you open doors?
B.
Because you don't... I don't know, you didn't experience it, because you grew up with this, you didn't experience, like, and I think, like, a lot of other people who had the same experience would agree with this, how difficult it is moving from, if you grew up playing shooters on the PC, like the first Quake, Bungie's Marathon trilogy, I loved those. All kinds of stuff with that, using the keyboard and mouse, and then trying to play with the N64 controller and get used to that.
Controller.
For a first-person shooter, I don't know, like for me, I could never get used to it for this type of game, like at all. Ah, crap.
Stop it.
I can't aim for crap with this thing. Like, it's just
See,
awful.
you did it.
Yeah.
Killed me.
It's because I pretty much think I hung out with, I could say, two distinct different groups of friends.
You're so popular.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
But in the one group of friends, whenever we would go to, usually my friend Matt's house, so we would have a certain group of friends over, we'd play the N64, and I liked a lot of the single-player stuff on N64, but to me, I've always hated this controller, and I just couldn't get used to playing this type of thing.
I love how I've been following you for the past, like, 3 rooms, and you're just, like, just walking around. Your body is dead.
I know. We'll put in Unreal Tournament on Dreamcast and it'll destroy you in like 5 seconds. That's the difference.
Never said you wouldn't.
In this, I don't stand a chance.
As long as I have a pistol.
In this, I don't stand a chance. I definitely like the fact that this came out and really popularized first-person shooters on consoles, especially the multiplayer aspect. I think a lot of games have benefited from that. I mean, now first-person shooters, I can't stand them this generation, Call of Duty and everything, and whatever. But I do think it did a lot of good for the genre on consoles, and is a good game, but I could never get into it just going from all those PC and Mac stuff in the early 90s to this. Like, I just couldn't.
You?
I think the first...
Do you even know where you're going right now,
I don't
or are you
know.
just wandering around?
I'm just wandering around. I'm trying to figure out where stuff is in the level.
Stop running in circles! Jeez!
You can't hit me if I'm strafing around in circles.
It's so annoying.
I have almost 400 bullets for this one. No, I don't like it though.
I like that it's realistic. You have so many bullets.
What, 400 bullets is realistic? Where'd you go?
Trying to get a gun. Stop running in circles! It's like a dog catching a tail.
I'm not. You are.
I'm trying to find you.
I can't even aim with a gun in this game.
Stop! What are you doing? You're like in my face.
Yeah, I'm trying to smack you.
You can't even slap me when you're like right next to me.
No, I told you I cannot do anything in this game. It's something about this game that just completely just does not click with me at all. Never has. I don't know.
I like that there was blood.
As a kid, you're just like, oh, look, there's blood.
A lot of them didn't have blood.
Yeah.
Especially in Nintendo games. I just thought it was cool.
I'm pretty sure Nintendo wanted to censor this at first. I think they've changed their mind.
I wonder why they didn't. They're like, no one's gonna buy this. Doesn't matter.
Well, the funny thing was, at first it wasn't even going to have a multiplayer mode. They just like threw it in at the end, and it was released like way after the movie. When we would have to play, like back in the day, I was always in last place with this game. Always. I
don't know why.
Just awful.
But you're really good at like any other shooter.
At other first-person shooters, I was great. Like throwing like time splitters and kicking people's butts. Like
What are you? Oh my god.
I played the heck out of Half-Life when that first came out. That was a game changer back in the day. I really liked the Marathon trilogy on the Mac because that's back when Bungie was great before they became the Halo company.
The Halo company.
But there are a couple games in N64 that that's I think what made me pretty much despise N64 back in the day. It really was. Like now there's a lot of games for it that I found I really enjoy, but I couldn't stand it because there weren't a whole lot of games on it. Every time there really weren't, because you had a couple great Nintendo games and then a couple great games from Rare and a couple other companies, but for every one good N64 game that came out, PS1 had 40 games coming out, and it was frustrating at the time. Owning both of them, I wanted to play N64 more, but I just didn't. And then when we did, it was games I didn't like, and I think that's what turned me off originally before going back and playing more. This and Smash Brothers, I couldn't stand Smash Brothers because I'm a huge fighting game guy, old Virtua Fighter, lots Neo Geo stuff. I love King of Fighters, even Samurai Spirits, Samurai Showdown, different things like that, and some 3D ones like Tekken and even Soul Calibur. A huge fighting game fan, but I don't know. To me, Smash Brothers didn't feel like a fighting game. It was more like a fighting game. It's more like a brawler in a way. It was like a party, but it was like a brawler fight. It was like a brawler party game. And the other thing too is I think you had, to me, that didn't appeal to me because I was more into very serious fighting games. To me, the ultimate was an SNK or a Neo Geo Fighter or something like Bushido Blade or something like that was the ultimate for me. So Smash Bros didn't appeal to me in that form. And I think the other thing was I was never a huge Nintendo guy. The NES was my first console, and I adored that growing up. I loved playing Super Nintendo, but I mostly played RPGs on Super Nintendo.
I can't play with you. You just run around like a crazy person.
It's I always liked Nintendo stuff, but I was never a big enough fan to make the mascot aspect of Smash Bros. Appeal to me. How did you kill me? How in that scenario? This is awful.
I don't know.
This is unbelievably awful.
I think you judged N64 too quickly. You did the same thing with Wii.
No, but...
The Wii, you told me we were going to have 5 games, I'm never going to play.
But there's a lot of good hidden gem stuff on the Wii that I think a lot of people miss. But to me,
you,
N64 is and will always be my least favorite Nintendo system because the NES was just such a classic that that's what I grew up with at first. Super Nintendo has great games in general, but then you look at this Squaresoft and Enix and Atlas, the huge RPG collections in the day, and then even the GameCube went back to having a lot of really interesting exclusives. And just, I don't know, the N64, I mean, you look at a system with a little over 300 games, you take out the sports games and, the licensed games and the stuff that's also on other systems, you're left with not even half of that. The N64, to me, will always have, 20 to 30 really awesome games that are exclusive to the system, that you are must-buys for the system, but then that's about it.
Well... I think you won.
Did I win?
I hope so.
I did win. 9 to 10. I won. I actually won.
Thank you. That was most frantic.
Yeah. Longest innings, most frantic. That is true. Most frantic. Oh, you didn't even see what we got.
Oh. I like this game.
I know.
I really do like this game.
I know. And you can play through the single player, and I don't even know if I ever want to even attempt that.
just can't play with you. You're like so frustrating.
Yeah, I assumed I was gonna get my ass kicked though. I held my own though, in my own spastic way in this game. Like I cannot function in this game. But yeah.
I don't even think you knew where you were going half the time.
I don't know. I should just play blind. I should just close my eyes next time.
Probably. I feel like that's what you were doing.
And it'll be like 5 to 10 at the end. I'll still get like 5 kills just randomly wandering around blind.
I really think that's what you were doing.
That could have been what I was doing.
You know, I like the system.
I don't dislike it. It's just when you have just such a tiny selection of games. I mean, it's just,
yeah, but you make those games count.
Yeah,
There's some really good games.
Especially when you're a kid. I think it's the difference too. When you're a kid and you only have like 10 or 20 games.
But you're only
N64 is awesome.
You're not gonna have 500 games when you're a kid on PlayStation.
PS1 I did. PS1 was ridiculous.
You had 500 games.
No, but I had over 100. Like it was weird because like the NES when we first got it, I mean we had less than 10 games. That's all I had, and there weren't any rental stores around me, so I never went beyond those like 10 games in the NES when I was a kid. And the same thing happened with the Genesis. When I was a kid, couldn't buy too many games. Had just a couple of games.
Could you rent them back then?
You could, yeah. We had 2 like rental stores. But like it was the same thing, and then every other system like N64 and even getting into some of the later ones, you only had like a handful of games when you're a kid. But like PS1, I just like every time I had an opportunity to like mow someone's grass or shovel something or whatever, I was just buying games because they just like they wouldn't stop coming out.
You don't appreciate it as much. I feel like those were my games. And those were like much more special. Like, and when you beat them, it was something special. When you first beat Zelda. Yeah. Versus like, oh look, I have 20 PS2 games to play.
But no, the thing was like once I got through the handful of N64 games that I really wanted for the system, that I really got into,
but you didn't play
there wasn't anything left. There wasn't anything left.
Did you play Zelda? Did you beat Zelda?
No, back then I didn't.
No, you didn't play it. You didn't like. So what were you playing?
I like it, but it didn't really appeal to me.
You played that. You played the stupid Hot Wheels game.
Oh, that I played.
Oh wow, that's great.
Pokemon games I really liked.
Okay.
Those were actually I really got into.
You didn't play Glover. You didn't play, there's so many games. Even Pilot Wings. You didn't play a really good.
Pilot Wings does not appeal to me at all.
Have you played Pilot Wings?
A little bit, yeah.
Have you?
I played Super Nintendo one. But
are we talking about Super Nintendo?
No. We're talking about its lesser older brother.
I played kind of the same game on a different system, but I didn't like it.
I don't know.
Like really? I
don't know. I'll never get into N64. There's like some great Mario 64 and like Banjo Kazooie.
You never played?
A little bit. I played Mario. I had Mario 64.
Did you beat it?
When I was a kid, no. No.
Did you play Banjo Kazooie?
Yeah.
Did you beat it?
No. Held my interest for like 5 hours. I was like, I'm gonna go back to playing. I'm gonna play Final Fantasy or like Shin Megami Tensei or like something like that. Like or like
but
get
you
into like fighting game like tournaments.
You can't play platformers.
Yeah, platformers just are one of my least favorite genres.
And that's what N64 is.
Like crappy like sports games and like party games and like licensed games and stuff and like then platformers. Then after that that's a huge part of the problem with it. But I don't know, like it really is true though. Like with the N64, it does have a couple of those amazing classics that I think everyone should at least try it, and even if it doesn't necessarily appeal to them, and it's a must-have system for those few really important games. But outside of that small sphere,
I think there's
the system has like 300 games on it. There's nothing on it.
300's a lot of games.
But that's total games. That
You're
includes
such like a
no, but it's like are you gonna play
more.
baseball games? No, we're gonna play like if you cut down that's a little over 300 total games. If you actually look at the ones you want, like the list is so tiny.
And why do you need that many games?
You don't need that many games, but if you're, it depends what genres you like too. Like for me, if I'm only gonna have like 20 games, it's gonna be RPGs or like strategy games. Or
I think
like
you
fighting games.
I think you were so jaded with the PlayStation and you never gave it a chance. And now you're just like super jaded by it.
No, it wasn't even that, because like I really wanted a Saturn back in the day. And like I started off with Nintendo. Nintendo was like my first console love. The N64, I think in many ways, I felt so betrayed by it. Because my first thing, like, I liked Sega, I liked the Genesis and stuff, but I liked Nintendo the most. And then going into that generation, everything that I liked about Nintendo, they all left and went to the PS1. Like,
but they wouldn't have been able to do that.
Atlas left, SquareSoft left. Like everything that I loved about that generation left, and like what was left over was Nintendo itself, and they got really lucky with Rare, and like not much else. And to me, that wasn't enough. They're amazing. Conker's Bad Fur Day is still my favorite N64 game. But I don't know. Just to me, like most of what I loved about Nintendo left during that generation. That's the whole reason I got a PS1 was because of companies that used to be with Nintendo. It wasn't anything to do with Sony. It wasn't anything to do with the PS1 itself. It was the companies that left it. And I had the N64 for a couple of games that I wanted, like that were mostly like Nintendo stuff, and a couple of things that were Rare. Yeah, it was.
That's what it's Nintendo. You sound like
Nintendo was my ex-girlfriend.
It's like your first girlfriend.
It was my first girlfriend.
And she cheated on you.
Yeah, she cheated on me. She was disappointing. So I went. Yeah. But yeah, that was my overall experience with the N64 growing up, and I've come to like it more. But I still have the same opinion of it, where it's a great system for those handful of games, but after that, it's just not a lot. There we go. Now the capture is working fine.
I don't know. I think you're way too jaded. You like, this was years ago. Get over it. Enjoy it for what it is. You need to stop with. They made Square Enix leave, and it's all their fault. And Square Enix.
No, but no. You know, it's not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm sorry.
No. It's not a bad system. I'm just saying it is my least favorite Nintendo system, and it will always be my least favorite. I think
you are too hard on it, and you get too serious about this, and it is like some sort of love affair with you.
It is. It really is.
You're just like this is life or death.
It really is because like the NES was the NES was the thing that got me off of my DOS like computer and like my Power Mac then. Like that was the only thing that took me away from those onto that turned me into someone who played console games. So I didn't play them. And then like it had like the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, and like it was so great. And then the N64 came out, and it's like, look, we're launching with 2 games, one you have no interest in.
I like that game.
I don't like Violent Wings, but like, and then
what
even
did we just say?
I know.
You are
about
vicious.
Like, because any other system, like I either like it or I don't or whatever, and I don't really care. Like it's true. I do have a sense of like.
I like it more because
I have a sense.
Hate it so much.
Probably.
I really think I
do have a sense of like animosity towards like the N64.
It's not just like
it's just there's something about it.
It's not the best.
Yeah.
You're like this is the reason that I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh my god, watch the camera. Oh fuck.
See how it turned out.